Om Shanti. Welcome to today's episode of Masters of Change. If we don't change, we don't grow. And if we don't grow, we aren't really living. And to help us live and lead a better life, today we have with us Sister Anna from Greece. Welcome, Sister.
Thank you very much for inviting me to be with you.
It is our pleasure. And why don't you start by telling us something about your journey and how it all started?
I'm born in Greece, and from a young age there has been this interest in finding a higher meaning in life, truth. Actually, I mentioned that I am from Greece because Greece is an ancient country, and it is the Greek philosophers that are known because of their search for truth. And somehow this happened to be my own journey as well. There was a very strong yearning to understand why I'm here, what is all this world about. And when I was 9 years old, my mother passed away. She was also my teacher. So at this very young age, you face a truth that somehow we keep hiding under the carpet, which means that we all know that there's going to be an end. And actually, every second there is an end. Even our body changes constantly. What was there a second before, it's not here now. So there is constant change, and change means end. And we all know that at some point the body is going to finish. But when you come face to face with this truth at this age of 9, where there is no logic and just feelings, and it leaves something in you. And although I happen to have a very good family and an excellent father that gave us a lot of love, somehow this fact made me feel that what is the importance of whatever I'm going to achieve in my life, since it's going to have an end, and even my body, or I'm going to finish. So in other words, when you have something, the most valuable thing, but you know it's going to be for a short time, it loses its value. If I give you now the Kohinoor diamond, if I pronounce it well, but I know you know what diamond I'm talking about, and I give it to you for 1 minute, how much value is going to have for you? No value, because you see the beginning and the end, and you don't have the time to put any label, mine or I, to identify with this.
Correct.
So the same thing with us, with the body. But because we happen to use it for a longer time and we forget its beginning and its end, it becomes so important for us. So this incident in my life reminded me of how no value everything in this physical world has. So you are left with questions. So these questions were always within me. And I was trying to find some answers, but I was very young. And so I had an outgoing nature, and this gave me the possibility to forget. I was very happy with my relationships as a teenager, with my family. I had a good life. But later, something happened that I couldn't put under the carpet anymore.
What happened? Curious to know.
Yes. So I was around 25 years old, and I had just finished my academic studies. I studied philosophy, Greek philosophy mostly, and Greek literature. And one of the reasons was, again, trying not only to find a diploma in order to earn my livelihood, but because I was hoping that I would find some answers through the Greek philosophers that the whole world believes that they have some truth. Definitely, many of the things I learned have some truth. Like all philosophies, all religions, if you have the sharp eye to see, the essence you can find, and you can benefit if you also want to follow. But what I found was not enough. I had many more questions, and mostly I didn't get any clear aim about what can I do in order to apply the truth. I didn't find tools that would help me to apply whatever truth was there, and I accepted that it was
that
really
was there around what you were learning through,
right.
looking at different religions and whatever truth was there around you. There was no way to apply it.
I didn't search in religions through my studies, through my academic studies. So I studied philosophy and literature, and I came out from my studies with, yes, a diploma, but disappointed because I hadn't found answers. But the answers found me. How? One morning, I remember it so vividly, as if it was 5 minutes ago. I was in my apartment in Athens, and I was reading an extract from some philosophical texts, spiritual texts that happened to come to my hands, and the essence of them was that truth, or the nature of truth, is what does not change. And truth is love. And then God is truth. God is love. And when I was reading this, and it was not the first time that I had come across similar ideas, I felt my attention being pulled, without me making any effort, towards my head, somehow, I would say somewhere here, at the center of my forehead. And some voice or some experience was telling me, or was making me realize that I am the source of these thoughts. I am not this body or this physical world. Somehow all the physical aspects, starting with my room and then my body, started fading away. They were not so important anymore. As if another world came in the picture, a world that was always there, but subtle and invisible. And it had escaped my attention in the same way it has escaped the attention of the 8 billion plus people that are on the planet. So it's like I saw that there is someone who was always there, and now I realize that this is the real self, the real I. And this I understood is the inner world, the source of the inner world, the feelings, the thoughts, the understanding, the memory, all these faculties that we all know that they exist. We all experience them, but no one helped us to understand how they work, from where they come. We haven't put our attention in this invisible reality, neither through our parents, maybe because they don't know, or teachers or educational systems, because probably they also don't know. But this experience came to me in such a vivid, such a real way that changed my life. And it was not only that, this is the beginning of the story. So I realized that I am a subtler being than this physical form. And then, I don't know how much time I was in that beautiful experience, but a more beautiful experience came in the picture. As I was lost in this experience, I feel another presence, as if a source of light. I would say light, but it's not the physical light, but light is the closest of this physical world to describe something that is beyond this world. And it's not about the form and the light as much as it is about the qualities that I was feeling that were coming from this presence. I felt as if I met someone that I had forgotten, but this someone was perfect, so lovely. There was this feeling that I was in front of someone that didn't have any body. It was not the body that was lovely, but the quality of loveliness, this being so gentle, accepting me totally, totally. I could be, and I was, whatever I was, but as if it didn't matter if I was the best or if I was the worst, or with our human standards. It didn't matter. And the feeling was that I and this being, the two of us, were so close, and it was only us and nothing else except silence. And the whole scene was as if it was eternal. There wouldn't be an end to it. There was no time. There was no feeling of time. And at the same time, it's not that I looked right or left, but I was feeling that planet Earth was somewhere there, as if I was totally beyond this physical world, let alone my room, the whole world. And everything there was changing. But the only thing that was not changing was where I was with this being. And it is as if I got answers to my existential agonies, to my questions, because I always didn't like changes, because you feel insecure a little bit, especially when it was coming to feelings. Because we see how easy it is for relationships to change from love to hatred, from friendship to enmity, or many changes, from being peaceful to being peaceless. And I was wondering, what out of all of this is real? Because one moment I feel this, and the second moment I feel something exactly the opposite, and both of them feel real, and both of them I have allowed to define me, to say I am peaceful, I am peaceless. Why 1 second I'm peaceful, next moment I'm peaceless? Who am I really in all of this? So it is as if I got the answer that in the physical world there will always be changes. And it felt as if it was a performance. And in a performance, you have to have changes. You have to have ups and downs in the feelings to have the entertainment of it. But the reality is on the backstage. And on the backstage, nothing changes. And what doesn't change is the best. Because I felt love. I felt happiness, and I feel actually. It's not that I felt. I'm the same one now. That scene has changed. Yeah. So I, and it's not only me, we are love, all of us. We are, even if we kill each other on the stage, still our nature is love, but we have forgotten it. So we are love, we are happiness, we are peace, we are security, but we have to experience who we are to feel these qualities that come as the natural nature of the self.
Correct. Very beautifully explained that it doesn't feel like that it happened with you all these years before, because as you explained, I was feeling that you're experiencing it now and you're sharing it with us. So all this happened, you were fully awake, like you had your eyes open while these experiences were going on.
Totally awake. I had just finished my juice. I remember all the details. Fully awake after some physical exercises. Some hatha yoga. At that time I had started some hatha yoga for the first time in my life. Everything is very accurate in our lives, and our spiritual awakening, I think, is also very accurate. Because coming from a philosophical background where you are trained or you have the comfort, the capability of questioning, perhaps if I hadn't had this experience, I would have been deceived by this habit of all the time questioning how, what. We all have this habit anyways at this point of time. We are all overthinking, over-asking, and we don't know how to be still, how to apply the things that we already know. We come up with more questions, more theories. So having this experience, it was one-way journey. There's no way that I would go back into my previous life, because it is as if I found exactly what I was looking for. It is as if I took the introductory of Raja Yoga course that I came across later in silence by God Himself. Because later I understood that this presence, this being, is the same being that we all look for as humanity in different ways, but not necessarily in the right way. A few days later, a couple of days later, I was given the address of the Brahma Kumaris Raja Yoga
couple days
Center.
later to that experience.
Yeah. And I was not familiar with spirituality, with religions. In fact, because I have always been a perfectionist in my life, when different friends or colleagues in the university would approach me to try and make me join their interests, their parties, there was a subconscious reaction, although I was feeling guilty that I was not doing anything for the world, for humanity, and they were doing, but I was thinking that if I am to dedicate anything of my life for a purpose, I have to be sure it is 100% pure. And I could see how much ego was involved in all these efforts. So I was given the address of the Brahma Kumaris Meditation Center. So I went there, and I went there 2 weeks after I had this experience. This experience stayed with me for 2 weeks, and 2 weeks after, it was Monday, I wake up and I feel that this power that had been with me and was making me feel the happiest person in the world. And more than anything else, I was feeling fearless, because I had some fear about death. Because when I faced the death of my mother, this left something within me. And because I didn't have the wisdom or the logic or whatever to handle in the right way, it became a big thing in my mind. I couldn't accept that at some point I will be buried. Now I understand that I can never be buried because I'm not the body. The body will be buried, but the body is part of this physical world. It's not me. I'm just visiting it. These things now are very clear, not as theory, as an experience after experimenting with all these aspects, that not all of them are new. Some aspects that the Brahma Kumaris share are new, but many of them we have come across, but who is practicing them, who is feeling them? And this is what actually I very much appreciate in the knowledge, in the teachings of Raja Yoga meditation. It gives you the tool to go from the theory and from the head to the experience, to the heart. So yes, after 2 weeks, when that experience started leaving me, I felt as if this experience left me in order for me to do something, so that, later understood, so that I can be the master of this experience. Not that someone was merciful and gave me this insight and this experience, and it's not in my hands, but I was left with a glimpse of what is perhaps reality and truth, but then I had to do something, to know more about it and how to have it constantly, to be it constantly.
So the experience was diminishing in the 2 weeks? What you experienced in the 2 weeks, it was fading away?
In the 2 weeks was constant.
Yeah.
My friends that met me or my relatives will say, "You're not the same person. Something has happened to you." I was speaking about love, I was speaking about happiness. I was on the top of the world. so happy. And this is the potential of all of us. I just had a glimpse of that. 2 weeks after, exactly Monday morning, in the space of an hour, maybe a couple of hours, I left that this power was leaving me. And there's no way that I could live without this, without feeling these higher feelings. And so this is where I remembered the address that I was given, and I called the same day, and I felt that I would find something there. And I went the next day, and as soon as I entered the center, it felt so as if I was at home, very lovely feeling, but the experience started emerging again. It is as if I was guided so clearly that you are in the right place. So I met what we call a teacher, and I say what we call because we are all students here. And this person, Brother Anthony, started asking some questions. I told him why I was there, that I had this experience. And in the first meeting, he gave me the first 3-4 classes, introductory class of Raja Yoga. The second meeting, the other 3-4, and that's it. It was so dramatic.
It's usually a 1-week course, which was over for you in 2 days because of the experience that you had.
Because of the experience, and in fact, if you ask me what I remember, I don't remember much, but I remember something about perfection, that there is golden age and the perfection in relationships, because this is what I was looking for. So, in fact, all of us look for the same thing. All of us look for God. I hadn't put the name God, because we all have our own filters that come from the limited, religions or societies that we are brought in. And I was not looking for God as such, but I was looking for the qualities of God. And I think all of us, even the most atheists, look for God, but they're so lost we don't realize it. Because what are we looking for? When we want money, are we going to eat the money or the gold? We want a nice house to feel secure, to invite our friends and share love. But God is the source of the absolute security, or knowledge makes us realize that we are secure, knowledge that comes from God. God is the source of knowledge. Or we look for love. God is the source of absolute love, absolute happiness. So we look indirectly and unconsciously for the qualities that God is in the 100%. So when I realized this, I realized it, that what I was doing in my life, whatever I was doing, is in order to experience some drops of all of this. And now I have found the ocean, who had presented myself, because the experience I had was not an idea about God, or even in the introductory course of Raja Yoga. You get the knowledge, it can be an idea in your mind. But here, you are given the tools of how to go beyond the idea and experience the reality of it. So it is like, let's say, you tell me something that in the next room there is, this person, and I start thinking about it, and I believe you. Why you should lie? Why would you lie? But then, when you give me the way to go to the next room, and I am with this being, with this person, it's not a matter of believing anymore. It's a reality. And I think this is what is the need of the times. We are all tired from philosophies and religions that stay at the level of thinking about truth or about God or about perfection or deities or whatever every religion has in their system. But we all need to experience. So that's why I'm still here after 35 years with more enthusiasm than what you see, but I'm hiding it, not to bombard you.
Well, very nicely put, that we need to experience it and go beyond the feeling of just feeling that it is present. I hope that what you experienced, many people might get to experience in future. I mean, you would call yourself lucky, won't you, that you got to experience at such a young age?
Since you share this, And again, we are very authentic and honest because we have prepared nothing and it's just coming from the heart. It's not a matter of luck, it's a matter of what we want. So I'm not sure how many are going to listen to us, but I would like to invite everyone to ask themselves, do I really want the best for myself, no matter what? Do I really want, am I ready to see that maybe the best is not what I'm used to thinking or to experiencing so far as the best, because it might be nothing compared to what our capacity, our potential is for. I'm convinced that the potential of all of us is so much higher than what we experience. It's not a matter of fortune, it's a matter of what we want. So I wanted it, and we all want, but we all have our time. So it's not that someone is, better or luckier. No, it's what our heart wants. So let us check for ourselves what do we really want, and we'll get it.
That's a nice perspective to look at it. And how did it change? I mean, after all that experience, in the 2 weeks, how did your lifestyle change? Because you had such a profound experience, so it might have brought many changes inside of you. You said your friends also said you're not the same person. So if you can share what actually changed, and I'm guessing that it must have been easy for you to implement those changes.
Mm-hmm. Those 2 weeks, the changes were unconscious. I was under the influence of this extreme happiness. Yeah. So I was just sharing happiness, love. I don't know if it was a big change than before, but I'm sure it was, because although I was a happy person, but it was of a different level, of a different caliber. So when I came across the knowledge of Raja Yoga, I understood eternal principles and laws that were making so much sense. I started researching how I can apply them in my everyday life. So the first change was that I became a firm vegetarian. I had started already a few months back. Maybe another time I can share with you how nothing is really happening by coincidence. And even that moment has some previous things that had happened and brought that moment that was more drastic or dramatic. But definitely vegetarian with understanding. There are so many reasons for all of us really to follow a vegetarian diet. Yeah. Of course, I stopped some habits like a little bit smoking, not really much because I was an athlete anyways. I was not drinking much, but I had tried it, but I decided not to have any drink from that time.
And why did these changes occur? What did you think that continuing with all these habits would make your experience less, would make your spiritual growth less? Did you think that?
Why I adopted them?
Why did you continue both the things together?
Yes.
Since you were not doing anything in extreme.
Right. One aspect in the knowledge of Raja Yoga, the Supreme Union, is of clarity. We now use many words like meditation and yoga, and I think all of them need a little bit of decoded in a way, because otherwise they can become words that we have used with other associations, meaning in our head, and then we don't really understand what it is all about. It's about clarity. So to be clear, what is what? Because everyone has their own interpretations. So what is this physical world? Who am I? Why am I here? So if we are clear about certain aspects of truth, certain aspects of our life, then we can go for them. And this clarity is connected with the intellect. There is something within us that is called intellect, but again, it's not about the name. In Sanskrit, it is buddhi. And buddhi is about understanding, discriminating, and deciding, mostly. Each one of these functions, it's a function on its own, but to understand more, it's intellect. So it's so important to have the best understanding in your life and discrimination and the power to decide what you have understood as right, to put it into practice. So, because all our life depends on this. So whether it is smoking, whether it is eating meat, all these habits that we consider as harmless, they actually attack the most important faculty within the self. And when I say self, I don't mean the body.
The soul.
I mean the soul. There is the brain, and there is the intellect which is within the soul, who is the user of this body and the user of this brain. So these habits attack our clarity, our understanding, and some others. So, of course, now that I understood that all my life, the quality of life, depends on this, I will protect it.
Correct. Well, thank you. There are a lot of questions that are still there in my mind, but the time only permits us this much. So I'm so excited. I am so happy that I got this chance to speak to you and to learn so much. And thank you for taking out time to speak to us.
Thank you very much for having me here. Thank you.
It was a pleasure. Om Shanti.